Hi everyone, it's Shannon Gomez, a creative rebel deck here. I'm going to do another round of pick a card because I'm just fucking into it. So here we go. I want you to kind of focus on the first, second, or third card bundle we have. And all right, you got it? Okay, so let's do the first one. If you were drawn to the first bundle here, the scenario is I feel misunderstood. Blank would help me communicate my thoughts. The thing that I like about these prompts is that you would probably already have something coming through for you, even without a card. This actually kind of talks to your subconscious. You weren't expecting to have this question be answered or asked of you. So all of a sudden, you pull the card, you get a question, and whether or not you are completely feeling this right now, maybe there is a part in your life where you're not feeling completely understood. And so this is going to target that. And then all of a sudden, boom, something comes to your mind. So I would, when you're working with this deck, and again, I'm using my new game because I'm into my new baby and I want to play with my new baby a lot. So like if I were to kind of just think about this, I feel misunderstood. Blank would help me communicate my thoughts. Like for myself, I would think if I would be more rest. I need more rest. Now, the cool thing about this setup is that you wouldn't normally write that out. You wouldn't say, I feel misunderstood. More rest would help me communicate my thoughts necessarily. You'd probably think, something more logical. But this kind of sets you up for something instantly, right? Like something to kind of just come into your consciousness. And wherever that comes from, you determine that. You assign that. So I know I need more rest. And when I get more rest, my brain calms down and I can communicate better. So that is, without even pulling these cards, that would be some insight into that. So I would encourage you, and I'll even leave a little pause when I continue to do this with the other decks or with the other bundles to to give yourself a second to think, okay, what actually popped into my head whenever I read this about myself? Okay, so the first answer is surrendering. I feel misunderstood. Surrendering would help me communicate my thoughts. So there's some dynamic internally that you're trying to control. And this card is saying that you have to surrender. You have to let go. And you have to maybe let go of always saying the right thing, or the control of having to be heard, a certain way, having it land a certain way. Surrendering, you get the concept of just kind of letting go. And that way you can just speak freely whenever you're not really attached to the outcome of that. And then hugs. Oh, okay. Hugs would help you communicate your thoughts. So you're feeling disconnected. You're feeling that you need to have some physical touch, that you need to be nurtured. Maybe if you're not a huggy person, again, you need to feel that security and that nurturing in a different way. This can just symbolize that feeling of needing, not needing to even talk. So maybe, you need to communicate your thoughts, but you also just need to feel supported in a physical way that feels safe to you. And the bonus card I'm going to pull is from Chris Ann's Sacred Creators deck, Changemaker, Making Waves. So this is a really cool deck. Yeah, you can use it for people who are creating something. It's called the Sacred Creators deck, but also I think it's nice. It works well within these scenarios. So Changemaker, Make Waves. So this is a nice card to go with this because you're trying to create change. You're trying to do something. You're trying to break out of a pattern, and you're supposed to because you are a change maker. And what you do is you make waves. So you might be afraid of surrendering. You might be afraid of receiving that nurturing because you're here to be making changes. You're here to be stirring things up, and that this is a confirmation of that card, or of this, that not only are you doing this to help you communicate, but you're also doing this to create change in your life and create change in the lives of others. Okay, so if you were drawn to pile 2. Okay. The scenario is, I'm ready to start something new and scary. Blank will give me a push. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to think. What pops into your mind? Even if it's nuts, even if you're like, fuck that, what? No, listen to it. You never know how it's going to play out in your life. All right, so the answers are changing my fucking attitude. So you are ready to start something new, but your attitude is shit. Maybe you're thinking that you can't do it. Maybe you're like, oh, this isn't the time. I don't have the money. I don't have whatever you think you don't have. The universe is calling you out saying you need to change your fucking attitude, because that will give you the push to get you going in the direction that you already know you're supposed to be going. And a dance party in my undies. Now, who doesn't fucking want that? So you're starting something new and scary. Now, this is a funny card. Yes, it is. And, dance parties in your undies alone or with other people can be great. But the deeper meaning behind this card and why I included it is because dancing gets you out of yourself. And you're naked or you're in your undies or whatever. And so you're vulnerable, you're open, you're appreciating the movement. And when you do something drastic and different that you don't normally do every day, maybe you dance every day, but maybe you don't dance in your undies every day. Or maybe you aren't, moving quite like that. That gets you out of your rut. That gets you out of your pattern. And it grounds you in a way that talking to yourself or positive affirmations just don't fucking do. So you're ready to start something new and scary. A dance party in your undies will give you the push to get you going. And maybe you do that every day for like several weeks until you kind of realize that you're here to play. You're here to have a good time. It's life. Yeah, there are serious things, but whenever something's already scary, do something totally crazy to mix it up and change your fucking attitude while you're at it. Okay, and the bonus card is magic happens when you expect it most. So the mindset piece to this is expect something amazing to come out of doing something different and scary. Just expect it. Expect that magic. Bring that element, that mystical element in, because it helps with the scary shit. All right. And pile 3. If you were drawn to this, the scenario is, I need to trust the fucking process. Blank will give me more insight. Okay, what popped in your head? Trust it. All right. Admitting I don't have all the fucking answers. This is a harsh card for this particular situation, because here you are having to trust, and then you also have to admit that you don't have the fucking answers. And like I always say, like I don't pull these cards in advance. Like I always, I like to have them be revealed as I'm revealing them to you. And so sometimes I kind of get stuck because maybe something's, talking to me, maybe I'm trying to understand how this can fit together, because whenever we're learning to trust, we have to have that place of vulnerability and that place of receptivity. And whenever we're, not really sure if we should move forward, we tend to contract. And we tend to kind of go back to the same patterns, go back to the same stories we've told ourselves. So the universe is calling you out, saying, okay, yeah, you need to trust the fucking process. And first, you have to admit that you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't have the answers. And if you did, you wouldn't have any issues trusting the process. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. This is actually a very powerful card to finally say, all right, I don't have the answers. What are the answers? And it allows us to give up that control. All right. Loud ass singing in the car. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. The last 2 bundles had this like crazy movement piece and getting stuff out. So, this is something personally for me. Some of these answers come inspired from other people, from like a collective place, and some are from my own life. And this is awesome. I love to sing my ass off in the car, and I do it whenever Really, anytime I just need a pick me up. I mean, I do it kind of in general just because I like it, but it helps clear out the throat chakra. It helps, again, shake out the nervous system. It calms you down, and it just opens up that diaphragm and opens up that heart lung space so that you can start trusting and that you can actually have the voice to say, you know what, universe, you're right. I don't have the answers and I'm ready to receive them. All right, and the bonus card is manifesting and doing. So this is an interesting card because it's calling you out. It's saying, okay, you're going to trust the process. You're going to admit you don't have the answers. You're going to do something to shake shit up. And then because you're in this manifestation, the second part is the doing. This is the part that people have an issue with, is the doing part. They love to sit and manifest. They love to sit and, think about things. And then whenever the universe says, oh, okay, here's what you have to do to actually manifest the reality you're creating. And then, sorry, this thing keeps getting messed up. And then, not being able to trust the process comes up, or we freeze and we tend not to do. And I'm including myself in this as well, is that we tend not to do. We think, we conceptualize, and we don't do. And this is the second piece of manifesting, is the actual doing and then seeing what happens after that. So I think this is a perfect bonus card for this bundle. And, whenever we trust the process, we admit we don't have it, and we do something fun to like I said, mix it up, then it'll be easier to do the doing whenever we are working toward manifesting and doing something different, where we have to surrender and trust the fucking process, because it's all a process. Nothing is without process. And a lot of times we want to skip that process and we want to go right from A to C and skip B. So we do have to trust that the universe has wisdom, life has wisdom, and we have to trust that fucking process. So thank you so much for joining me today in this, and I will see you soon. Bye.